Hello everyone, it's Jeff with EUL Gaming, and today we're going to cover a topic that I feel may be the most frustrating aspect of Escape from Tarkov for most players: making money. And not just making a little money to get by, but actually getting rich. Do you ever find yourself wondering how YouTubers and streamers are able to keep and maintain an almost limitless amount of cash? Do you wish you could go into every raid with awesome gear and not have to worry about the cost to replace it? If so, this video is made just for you. We all know that things like tactics, aim, and positioning matter in Tarkov, but there's a ton of things you can do to generate money in Tarkov that actually has very little to do with combat. So sit tight, because today we're going to learn how to get rich in Escape from Tarkov. If you are like most players, generating a lot of wealth in Tarkov is difficult and sometimes confusing. You might get a big score in a raid and think that your luck is finally turning around, just to have that windfall robbed from you as you proceed to lose all that hard-earned gear in the next raid. While yes, having a deep understanding of the combat mechanics and tactics in Tarkov is valuable to know, you can be doing a lot of things in the meantime to help bolster your cash reserves. So let's get right into it. First and foremost, scav as often as possible. Although this point may seem obvious, many players struggling with finances in Tarkov sometimes skip the opportunity to scav. Maybe you're working on a mission and you don't want to lose your focus, or maybe you like having control over the kit you deploy with. And those are reasonable, but keep in mind what the scav offers you. It's a completely risk-free opportunity to acquire more guns, armor, and valuables. But that doesn't mean just scav anywhere. Scav smart. Pick maps that offer high risk for a high reward. Because honestly, as a scav, there really is no risk. Probably the all-time best map to scav on is Reserve. The map is massive and absolutely loaded to the gills with high-value loot, high probability of finding both dead PMCs as well as dead raiders, and not all that juicy loot is locked behind keys. Reserve also caters to both those of the Chad and the Rat mentality. You can take raiders and PMCs head-on, or observe gunfights from a distance and strike opportunistically. And the random kits of scavs is perfect for this kind of map. Got a sniper rifle? Go pitch a tent in one of the many towers around the map. Shotgun or SMG? Sneak into white or black night and surprise some unsuspecting PMCs. And if you have an AK-74 type rifle, there is BT and BS ammo literally everywhere on this map. Find some, swap out your PS ammo for the good stuff, and now you can go toe-to-toe with both PMCs and raiders, which I've done many times. Keep in mind though, Reserve is probably the worst map when it comes to scav-on-scav violence. Do not try to make friends here, it almost never works. Other than Reserve, Interchange and Customs with the newly expanded areas are also good options if you're looking to switch it up. Just remember, the best loot you can get as a scav on these maps, especially Reserve, is off the bodies of dead PMCs, raiders, or scav bosses that got left behind or ones that you third-partied. Check out the Tarkov wiki to learn spawn locations of raiders and bosses, and hang out around those areas and you can see if they're still alive. Next up is missions. Depending on your playstyle, some people tend to quit doing missions after a while or hardly bother with them at all. But there is a very important reason why you should be focusing on them. By completing tasks, you will not only level up faster, but you'll also gain dealer reputation and unlock new missions and new deals from traders. This means that you can start buying gear and ammo for significantly cheaper than the flea market, saving you money, but most importantly is what happens at level 30, Private Clinic. Yes, Private Clinic is what I consider to be a game-changing mission for the player that is short on cash. At level 30, Therapist will give you this mission, and if you provide her with 3 lead X's and 3 ophthalmoscopes, I probably butchered that pronunciation, she will give you a thick items case. Depending on when you get this mission completed, this case can go for around 15 million rubles. And if you can loot those lead X's rather than buying them, that's going to be even more money in your pocket. And like they say, a dollar saved is a dollar earned. Or I guess in this case, rubles. This massive bundle of cash might be tempting to spend on all kinds of new gear, and sure, you can use some of it for that. But save most of it for my next point, which is the hideout. Now, I've explained how the hideout works in depth in a previous video, so if you want to know more about it, check that one out. But specifically, you want to get your Bitcoin farm operational as fast as possible. You can use the proceeds from the sale of your thick case to fund the expansion of your hideout, and you may need to buy those graphics cards if you aren't finding them as often as you'd like. But don't worry, that's just the cost of doing business. And if you're wondering if it's worth it, the answer is yes. Even if you had to buy every single graphics card and item it takes to make your Bitcoin farm, the farm will pay for itself in full in about a month. But again, the more of these items you can loot yourself will just keep adding to your bottom line. Once the Bitcoin farm is up and running, you will now generate almost 1,000,000 rubles every 24 hours. This kind of passive, persistent income will allow you to keep buying guns, ammo, and armor so you can focus on honing your skills and combat abilities and not have to worry about going into your next raid without any armor on. So once you've done these steps, you're well on your way to achieving financial independence in Tarkov. And if you were to only follow these steps, your money troubles would probably become a thing of the past. But what if you want to become rich? Like, really rich? I'm talking you're wearing an airframe and a slick to every raid. You mag dump M995 just to make room in your inventory. And before you know it, you're giving out Red Rebels to your friends and dropping them graphics cards as you light cigars with 100,000 ruble bills. Okay, maybe not that rich, but you know what I mean. Well, there's a few extra steps you can take to really maximize your income. First, learn how to engage in PvP even with low budget kits. This is a guilty pleasure of mine, and I think you'll find it fun as well. In Tarkov, most ammunition can be split into two groups, armor piercing and flesh damaging rounds. Flesh damaging rounds are typically quite a bit cheaper than the top tier AP ammo, and if you ask yourself, what part of a PMC is unarmored, the answer would be, well, the legs and usually the face. Yeah, we're talking about leg meta. My personal favorite is the Keter submachine gun loaded with the hilariously cheap SP7 rounds. To explain it real quickly, the legs are always unarmored. And not only that, but Tarkov has a mechanic in which once a body part is blacked out or 0 HP, any additional damage dealt to that body part can usually deal bonus damage to the rest of the HP pool. In case of the legs, this is 110%. The SP7 rounds out of the Keter deals 77 damage per round with a high rate of fire, so it does not take long at all to drop even the chattiest of chads. I could go into this mechanic further, but it really deserves its own video. There's loads of other low-budget leg meta kits out there, so if you'd like some suggestions, just drop by our Discord server and we'll help you out. We're nearing the end, so if you made it this far, thanks for sticking with me, and if you think this is helpful, drop us a like. It really helps us out. Okay, now you're hopefully gaining money instead of losing it, and you think you're getting the hang of things, but you still want more. Well, you just need to find the keys to success. Literally. Keys, especially early in the wipe, can sometimes hold significant value, and it's tempting to sell the key that's worth, let's say, 300k as soon as you loot it. But before you do, consider the financial gain if you had kept that key. If you loot a valuable key for a map that you are frequently running, check the Tarkov wiki before selling it off. See what kind of items spawn in that room, and you'll quickly realize that keeping a lot of these keys that you find is actually in your best interest. Let's say you find a key and it sells for 300k, but lead X's spawn in that room. That means the very first time you find a lead X in that room, you would have paid for that key 3 times over. You don't need to keep every single key you find early on, but if that room contains, let's say, lead X's, graphics cards, safes, or intelligence, keep it. I promise you the key will more than pay for itself. I run a lot of reserve now and I have every single key for that map. If you'd like me to do a video on loot routes that I like to take, leave a comment down below. And lastly, gear fear. This is a huge obstacle to overcome for some newer players. Let's say you dropped a super geared player and made it out alive with all of his stuff. You now have a shiny, beautiful exfil helmet, maybe an AS Val, a slick plate carrier in inventory. It can be a tough pill to swallow just to take out those nice items again and just lose them. But that's just simply the nature of this game. Eventually you will lose those items. It just happens. But those high-end items are force multipliers, meaning they're going to greatly increase your chances of survival and success. The visor on that helmet might block a lucky face shot from a scav, or you can tolerate, let's say, maybe taking 3 bullets to the thorax in a gunfight rather than just 1. When you score some amazing gear, it just does you no good whatsoever to sit in your inventory. If you simply can't bear to use it, just sell it, and you can just go buy 2 or 3 cheaper kits. Eventually, you'll come to view these gear windfalls as just being a free top-tier kit, so who cares if you lose it? All of these points put together paints a picture of success for you in Escape from Tarkov. Before you know it, you'll be generating bitcoins as passive income, raking in huge hauls of raider gear even as a scav, and your money troubles will be a thing of the past, so you can focus on PvP or becoming the king of rats or whatever it is your goal is in Tarkov. So, to wrap it all up, scav as often as possible. Do missions and focus on getting the Bitcoin farm operational as fast as possible. Know how and when you should run low-budget kits with leg or face meta. Invest in keys and learn what spawns are inside, as well as the safest routes to those places. And ditch the gear fear. Just run that awesome gear whenever you loot it. If you follow these steps, you'll be a Tarkov millionaire before you know it. And Uncle Nikita will smile down upon you and bless you with graphics cards and LED X's until your stash is full to overflowing. And that's it. I really hope you found this video helpful. As always, your feedback is welcome in the comments down below. Please leave a like if you enjoyed this video. It helps us grow the channel via YouTube's world-famous algorithms. Hop on our Discord server if you'd like to play with us or just have a chat. This is Jeff with EUL Gaming, and I'll see you in the next one.